Hey everyone, my name is Mads Faurholt. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've founded over 20 companies. I've written a bestseller book, released in about 20 countries on entrepreneurship. And what I do and spend my day on is building incredible companies with incredible people. And that's really what I love to do and what makes me enthusiastic and why I feel I never work. Okay, so I think there's two ways to run the world, basically. I think one option is that you set a lot of expectations to CEOs and leaders, and you say, look, you gotta be the right leader for your team. You gotta be the right leader for every person in your team. You gotta be the right leader for your suppliers. You gotta be the right leader for your customers. You gotta be the right leaders for the environment, for the government, for everything. And at the end, I think you end up, to be honest, with a very, very, very confused leader. I probably come from a different perspective. I think you create transparency in companies so that ultimately companies' revenue and sales are impacted if they don't do the right thing. If you don't service your customers in the right way, you're impacted. If you don't produce a quality workplace for your people, you're impacted. By the way, you're always impacted because your great people are going to leave. If you don't do right by the environment, you're impacted. So honestly, I think rather than putting 35,000 different expectations on every leader, which is going to just leave them highly confused and unsatisfactory, and it's impossible for them to make anyone happy, just make it simple. Make transparency required for businesses. Make it easy to get transparency. Make it easy to understand what every company does, what they do do they treat their environment in the right way? Do they treat their people in the right way? Do they treat their suppliers in the right way? And if you have that kind of transparency, ultimately, the CEO can focus on running the best business in the world and still have a tremendously big impact on the world, because ultimately, great business means doing great for the environment. So I love it when people talk about unpredictable times around coronavirus, because honestly the world is unpredictable. It's unpredictable 365 days of the year. The only thing that's absolutely certain in this world is that the world is unpredictable. That's the only thing that's certain. Change is the only thing that's certain in this world. Certainty is not, change is. And so I think the world is always unpredictable. And in all times of unpredictability, and that includes the other 364 days of the year where we don't have corona, where we don't have crisis, where we don't have anything, the same rules apply. Play offense. If you play defense, it's never going to work. It's not going to work in good times, it's not going to work in bad times, it's not going to work in crisis, it's not going to work in booms, it's never going to work. What does playing offense mean? Playing offense means you go on the offense for your company. That is, you go out and find the opportunities to execute the best way possible for your business. Give you an example. In the times of crisis like Corona, if you're a company, you go out and buy up other companies because they're cheap now. Or even worse, they have gone bankrupt, so you can save jobs and you can keep companies alive. It is a time where you go out and hire. It's a time where you relocate your business. I relocated a business here to the UK from Portugal because I thought it made more sense to be here, because I wanted to play offense. You go and you find the best people in the environment. I can't understand why people wouldn't be recruiting when there's times of crisis around them. That's the best time in the world to pick up incredible employees. So the truth is, and this is 365 days of the year, unpredictable, predictable, whatever you want to call it, play offense. So whenever I'm out doing a speech, I always ask the same question to the audience. I say, what defines a good leader? And I get responses like, he shows the way, he has showmanship, he walks the path, he listens to his people, he's ready for change, he is truthful, he's honest, you can count on him, he is dependable, he cares about his people. Now notice in none of what I said, and by the way, I have done hundreds of speeches around the world, and thousands of people in the audience, nobody has ever said, he's really good at marketing, he's really good at corporate finance, he's really good at accounting. All the skills that we usually think we learn in university, none of that is actually what usually defines a good leader when you ask people. And the same thing goes right now. So what defines a good leader is in times of crisis, and what defines a good leader 364 days of the year otherwise, it's the same thing. It's not his skills, it's his behavior. And the behavior is always the same. You got to take charge, you got to show the way, you got to care about your people. You got to be truthful, you got to be honest. You have to play on the offense. So again, I don't think for this particular situation, new skills are required. If you want to win normally, that's the same skills that's required. It's about who you become as a person that matters, and being adaptable to the circumstances, whether that's coronavirus, a new competitor entering, your product becoming obsolete. I mean, think about Nokia. Think about cartoons. Think about TV stations. They face corona crisis all the time. TV stations in terms of YouTube, Nokia in terms of iPhone, etc., etc., etc. There are corona crises for businesses every single year. And if you don't see it in your industry right now, it's about to happen at some point. Think about BMW, autonomous vehicles coming. Everyone is facing their own corona crisis all the time. So as a leader, don't think about the skills that you have to develop. Think about who you have to become as a person to lead your people through change, which is going to be continuous. My number one advice to anyone who's coming out, a young global leader, somebody who's facing this world, is just to add massive value. There's never a time that value creating efforts are gonna run out. If you're focused on creating value, I don't care if you live 5,000 years ago, you're gonna live 5,000 years from now. If you focus on creating value in the world that you enter, you're going to be fine. Because people are always willing to pay for value, and there's always jobs for people who create value. My recommendation to you is think less about creating value for yourself and more about creating value for the company you work for, or the company you're creating, or the customers that you have, or the employees that you manage. If you do that, you're going to be absolutely fine now and forever hereafter. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to connect with you. Just reach out to me if I can be helpful with anything.